everyone, this is Lola and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, you are going to learn about adjectives. So in general, an adjective is a word which gives us information about a word which it modifies. Adjectives are words that describe the qualities or states of being of nouns. They can also describe the quantity of nouns. I'm going to take a look at a couple of them right now. So words like strong or small, crazy, pink, fun, and mad are qualities or states of being of nouns that you can use with nouns. And many, few, billions, or 12 are the quantity which can be used with nouns when describing nouns. So in French, the adjective must agree with the gender and the number of the noun it is referring to. So for example, if we use the word strong, the strong boy, the strong girl, the strong boys and girls, the strong girls. So whether the noun is masculine or feminine or plural, it doesn't matter. The adjective strong is always spelled the same way. Well, that's different in French. So in French, we have the word fort, which means strong. But we have le garçon fort, la fille forte, les garçons et filles forts, and les filles fortes. Notice that fort is spelled different ways depending on the noun. So le garçon is masculine singular, therefore my adjective has to be masculine singular. F-O-R-T is masculine singular. La fille forte is feminine singular. So la fille is feminine singular, and forte, F-O-R-T-E, is feminine singular. Les garçons et filles forts is masculine and feminine plural. So therefore fort, F-O-R-T-S, is for both masculine and feminine plural. But if it's only girls we're talking about, then les filles fortes would have to be spelled F-O-R-T-E-S, because that's feminine plural. So let's look at regular adjectives. Now there's hundreds and hundreds of adjectives, but let's look at a couple of regular ones and what you would do to change them so that they agree with number and gender. So if we take a simple one, the adjective grand, which means big, then generally to make it feminine, all that we have to do is add the letter E, and that makes it feminine. So that's all it is, the letter E. So grand to grande. Here's another example. We have the adjective petit, which means small. And again, to make it feminine, because it's a regular adjective, we would just add the letter E. So it becomes petite. Let's take a look at the last one. The next one is one we just used, which was fort, which means strong. And again, to make it feminine, we would just add the letter E to make it feminine. Let's look at a couple of sentences used with these adjectives. So the first one we're going to look at is un grand garçon. That is masculine singular, un grand garçon. And then if I want to change this to feminine, I would have to do this. I would have to say une grande fille. We already learned that we add an E to the adjective to make it feminine. So un grand garçon, a big boy, une grande fille, a big girl. Going on to the next one, we have un petit garçon, a small boy. And again, to make it feminine, we know what we need to do. It becomes une petite fille. And the last one, un garçon fort, again, to make it feminine, would become une fille forte. Now you might be wondering, okay, some of these adjectives came before and some came after, so I'm going to explain that to you next. So we noticed here that un grand garçon, we see the garçon is underlined in red. That's your noun. And the adjective grand came before the word garçon, before the noun garçon. And then same thing with the une grande fille. The fille, the adjective grande came before the noun fille. And I'm going to explain the rule to you in a few minutes. Let's look at another one, for example, that we just did. So we have un petit garçon. Again, the adjective petit came before the noun garçon. And then une petite fille, again, petite is your adjective. It came before the noun fille. And our last one's a little different. So we have un garçon fort and une fille forte. And we notice here that it is placed after the noun. So garçon is the noun and fort is our adjective. So it's un garçon fort and then une fille forte. Same thing with une fille forte. Fille is your noun and forte is your adjective. Here the adjectives came after. So why is that? Well, there are rules, and I'm going to explain it to you, and it's called basically the Bangs adjectives. That's an easy way to sort of memorize this. So Bang adjectives are adjectives which precede or go before the noun, as we had just seen before with grand and petit. So what kind of adjectives are those? Well, they're adjectives that talk about beauty, for example. So if we look at things like beau, belle, or belle and jolie, those go before the noun. So any kind of adjectives like that. These are just some examples, but obviously there are more. A would stand for age. And age would be things like jeune, vieux, vieille, vieille, nouveau, nouvelle, nouvelle. Then we've got N, which stands for numbers, and things like premier, deuxième, troisième, and autre. G stands for goodness, so things like bon, bon or bonne, or mauvais, mauvaise. And the last one is S, which stands for size, and we're looking at things like petit, petite, grand, grande, and gros, grosse. So if you can memorize all these Bang adjectives, then you will be able to know whether they come before your noun or after your noun. So we've talked about regular adjectives in general at the beginning where you add e's. Now we're going on to irregular adjectives. So irregular adjectives, there's so many rules. So here's one rule. One of the rules that you would have to do with irregular adjectives is double the consonant and add an E. A consonant is anything but a vowel. So for example, B, C, D, F, G, and so on and so forth. So the first one we have is bon, and that means good. So bon is just an irregular one. So we can't just add an E. We'd have to double the consonant and then add an E. So it becomes bon. Let's look at another one. We have gentil, and gentil means nice. So gentil, again, double the consonant and add an E would look like this, gentil. And gros is the last one. So gros again means huge. So gros ends with an S. We don't just add an E, we double the consonant and add an E. And our last one actually is Canadien, which means Canadian. And again, we'd have to double the consonant and add an E. And now these are all feminine. Here's another rule. So there's so many rules. And here's another one. If the masculine adjective ends with an E accent aigu, then you add an extra E to change it to feminine. So if we look at the word agité, that would become agité with the extra E. We have découragé, again, we're adding an extra E. We have fâché, add the extra E. And finally, fatigué, and again, adding the extra E. So if it ends with an E accent aigu, then you add the extra E. Remember, it should have the accent on that E for you to add the extra E. Going on to the next exception, we have words that, or adjectives, that end with EUX that then change to EUSE. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. We have curieux, EUX, that then changes to EUSE, curieuse. We have généreux, which changes to généreuse. We have heureux, that's changed to heureuse. And finally, the last one is paresseux, which changes to paresseuse. Again, remember, there's so many more. These are just a couple of examples. Going on to another exception. If it ends with if, it changes to ive to make it feminine. So we have actif becomes active. Créatif becomes créative. Positif becomes positive. And sportif becomes sportive. Another one again is masculine adjectives that end with just the letter E, no accent on it, just the letter E. They stay the same for feminine. So for example, we have all of these. They all end with E and they stay exactly the same way. You don't do anything with them. So things like aimable, calme, drôle, and triste. They're used for masculine singular and for feminine singular. Moving on to another irregular adjectives. Well, let's take a look at these. These have actually no pattern. These are just purely memorized. So, long turns to longue with a UE. Doux, which ends with an X, changes to douce with a CE. So notice there's no pattern. So it's basically memorizing this. So then we have fou and folle, favori and favorite, and travailleur and travailleuse. And here are some more. Vieux, vieille and vieille, beau, belle and belle, nouveau, nouvelle, and nouvelle. Now notice that there are little stars beside some of those in the middle, and I'm going to explain those to you in a few minutes. So here it is. So if we have a vieux t-shirt, un t-shirt is masculine singular. So I would use the adjective vieux, which means old, by the way. So un vieux t-shirt, an old t-shirt. If I want to say an old man, it would be un homme. Now, the reason I don't say un vieux homme is because homme starts with an H, which is called an H muet in French. So I would have to not say un vieux homme, I would say un vieil homme. That's why there's that star there. So anytime you have a singular masculine noun that starts with the letter H, H muet, or a vowel like arbre, which starts with an A, you would have to use vieil, V-I-E-I-L. And finally, the last one, une vieille maison. So that's an old house. Maison is feminine, so therefore vieille has to be feminine. Une vieille maison. I'm going to show you another example using beau, belle, and belle. So same rule here with that little star with B-E-L in the middle that you see. So it's un beau t-shirt, un bel homme, or un bel arbre, and une belle maison. And the next one is going to be with nouveau, nouvelle, and nouvelle. So un nouveau t-shirt, un nouvel homme or un nouvel arbre, and une nouvelle maison. And now going on to plural form. So adjectives in the plural form, what do? Well, you simply add an S or an X to the ending, depending on the ending of the adjective. If it already ends with an S or an X, we do nothing. We're going to look at a couple of examples as we go through this. So these are ones that I just explained to you at the beginning of this video. So we have grand, petit, and fort, and you notice that I've just added an S to make it plural, either in the masculine form or the feminine form. So grand, grande, petit, petite, fort, forte. And here are some other ones where we double the consonant and add an E. So bon becomes bonne, gentil, gentil, gros, grosse, canadien, canadienne. Again, adding S's everywhere to the endings. Then we have those masculine endings with the E accent aigu. And again, you just need to add an S at the end. So agité, agité, découragé, découragé, fâché, fâché, and fatigué, fatigué. And remember, ones that ended with EUX, change it to EUSE. Again, here this is a little different. Because curieux even in the singular form, ends with an X, you do nothing for the plural form. It just stays the same way. So curieux, généreux, heureux, and paresseux do not change in the masculine singular to the masculine plural. But you can see on the other side with the feminine, curieuse, généreuse, heureuse, and paresseuse, all of those you can add an S to it to make it plural. And over here we see the IF that changed to IVE, So we have actif, active. We added S's to everything to make it plural. We have créatif, créative, positif, positive, and sportif, sportive. And here we had the adjectives that where you didn't have to add anything to it because it ended with an E already. So all that you do is add an S. So it becomes aimable, calme, drôle, and triste. And we'll take a look at those irregular ones where there's no pattern at all. So look at the first one. Long, you had an S, and long, you had an S. But remember, do, which ends with an X already, stays the exact same way. And then douce, we add an S. Same thing with fou and folle. Favori, favorite, travailleur, and travailleuse. And this one's a little different. So remember, there's no pattern again. And the difference here is that you would not use the ones in the middle with the star. So if it is plural and we're talking about, remember the or the arbre, and you wanted to make it plural, well, you would just have to use a masculine plural and leave it as an X. So for example, it would be un vieux t-shirt, or you could say des vieux hommes, or des vieux arbres, or also obviously des vieux t-shirt. So same thing with beau and with nouveau. Same rules for all of those. I hope that you understood this basic stuff. Again, there's other rules as well, but these are the basic ones that you would need to know. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.